Recently, the Mesa Fire and Medical Department has responded on multiple fires in homes where senior citizens lived. These fires may have been prevented with some home safety education. Let's go inside and speak to a home safety inspection volunteer. Joining us here today is Barry Roth, one of our home safety inspection volunteers. Barry, thanks for being here with me today.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Now, I see that you have some home safety items, and I know some of these specifically deal with the fires that I was speaking about earlier.
That is correct. What we had was recently a person who had had an overloaded outlet that caused a fire. And what we strongly suggest with the fire department is that you do not, if you have to use more than 2 plugs in an outlet, that you consider using a power strip like this one with a surge protector on it.
Okay. And I know, especially right now, we're in the winter months and we could be using space heaters to warm our home, and there's some specific guidelines that go along with the use of a space heater. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. This space heater, for example, that a lot of people use, we recommend that at least if you're using a space heater, that you keep at least a 3-foot area around the space heater free of any kind of upholstered furniture or items. And that if you do have a plug attached to this, an extension cord, that you don't run it out into a traffic area or put the plug underneath a rug.
Okay. And what about keeping the space heater on? You know, should I run it all night when I'm asleep, or?
Probably not a good idea to run it at night when you're not awake. It's best to turn it off and just enjoy the coolness in the house.
Okay, and I have seen that some of these models have a feature so that if it does fall over.
That's correct. They have an automatic shutoff feature where if it tips, it will turn off automatically. Those are on the newer models, and so it's a good idea to consider getting that kind of model just for a safety feature.
Okay, great. And as you mentioned, you were talking about space heaters and keeping a good radius around the space heater. I would think that the same thing goes for our home in general and hallways, keeping free of clutter.
That's correct. In the event that the fire department has to come out and enter your home, you would want to have the hallways clear of any kind of clutter or debris, and to have the doorways free of any clutter or debris, as well as for your own protection so that you don't have a potential for a slip and fall. It's also very important to make sure that in your bedroom areas where you do sleep, that you have the ability to be able to exit the home in the event of a fire. And so to make sure that in your bedroom area that the exits, like a window or doorways, are not blocked by clutter or large pieces of furniture. And the plan basically for an escape route from the home, by considering using windows or doors, so have at least 2 ways that you should think about: how am I going to get out of this room? A way to get out of the home and to be able to exit the home, and once you've exited the home, not to go back in, even if there are pets still in the home.
Sure. I think one of the major things to consider is that if a fire does happen, it's going to be very dark and there's going to be smoke, and you might have a sense of being a little disoriented in your own home.
That's correct, and it usually does happen. And we strongly suggest using night lights around the house, some that will come on in the event that there's a power interruption, so you always have illumination. Also, keeping a nightlight on your bedstand is a good idea, as well as keeping your medicine with you on a pill case so that you can have your medicine with you when you leave the home, and having a pair of glasses if needed to be able to see to get out. That's correct.
And I know one of the most common fires is a kitchen fire. So yes. What makes it so common? What contributes to that?
Usually what happens is, in a kitchen fire, like on the stove like this over here, you have a situation where there can be grease buildup on the stove or food cooking left unattended, usually in a pan, and usually things that you're heating or using some kind of grease. When that occurs, it can spread very rapidly through the house. So you want to avoid leaving food unattended. You want to always maintain an eye on it. We provide a kitchen timer as part of our home safety inspection, but you can use a kitchen timer or use a timer that's on the microwave or the stove, something so you know when the food is finished. And you also want to make sure that there's no grease buildup on the stove area, or towels or paper products or anything that's flammable that could be ignited by that.
So we're kind of using the same guidelines as the space heater. It's a source to create a flame, and so would the stove. So keeping that space and the area around it so that we don't start a fire.
That's correct, keeping a nice perimeter clean around that area, exactly.
And I see that you brought a carpet square with us today. And
Yes.
what can you tell me about that? What's the safety feature that we need to discuss?
If you don't mind, let me get around this way from you and I'll show you what I'm talking about. One of the things, the main concern, of course, one of the main calls out by the fire department are slip and falls. And a lot of area rugs have a very smooth backing, and if you put it on a smooth floor like this, you can see how, given the situation, what you're wearing on your feet, or the condition of the floor, it could slip out from under you, causing you to fall. So we strongly recommend using a non-slip pad. You can buy these in any Home Depot or any store, Target and so on, and you put that over it and it provides you.
Gives it more stability.
It does. It won't allow it to move. You can then just always clean and pick it up underneath it, but that's basically what we recommend.
I would think something like that would be especially important when we're in the bathroom.
Yes, in a bathroom area, especially where you have moisture, you have water, this is extremely important. And also in a bathroom area, you want to make sure that you consider having a grab bar to hold on to. Also, if you have trouble getting up or moving easily, you can also consider getting a bench or a stool for the shower. Like I said, a grab bar, also a raised commode seat. And probably the most important thing in the bath or the tub would be to have a non-skid surface, either one that's already there that came with the tub or shower, or apply a non-skid mat in there, or the non-skid strips that you can get at the stores.
Barry, tell me a little bit about why we have this stepladder here.
Okay, well, one of the things we're concerned with is, of course, the safety feature. If you are going to climb to reach something in the kitchen area, in a cabinet area, so to make sure that you have a very stable stool, one that gives you something to hold on to, so you don't want to get one that's very high, one that you feel comfortable with. And this is a good example of a very good stool because it's got the right surface on it and large steps, and it's got good stability to it.
I think that's really important because a lot of times we're just trying to do something really quick. We might grab a chair from the kitchen and it might not be the best thing for us to stand on, giving us that stability.
That's correct. Another situation for a slip and fall. One of the other things to remember is to wear, shoes that have a non-skid surface on the bottom, and make sure you have that, and to clean up any water spills that occur in an area where there's a smooth surface to avoid slip and falls.
And all of this great safety information that you're sharing with us right now is something that our Mesa residents can receive for free?
That's correct. We have a home safety inspection that we will do at the home, and we provide a lot of safety items that we bring out to the home and do a home safety inspection, look through the home, give some tips and advice, and provide them with safety items, correct.
And Barry, as you said, our home safety inspection is available to Mesa residents. So how about the folks that are watching today? What would be the top safety items that they might need to go ahead and go get on their own that you would recommend?
Okay, let me give you an idea of what we would suggest. Of course, most important is smoke alarms, something to supplement. If you don't have them in the home, great idea to have at least one in the sleeping area, one in the hallway or living room area. Hallway being near the bedrooms. Also a fire extinguisher, an ABC rated fire extinguisher would be a great idea, especially one that has a gauge on it that shows you that it is fully charged or not. Night lights are really important, again, for illumination to provide a safe egress and ingress out of your rooms. And then a kitchen timer, one to be able to make sure that you are watching what's on the oven, what's on the stove or in the oven. And basically an oven mitt to help prevent any kind of scalding on your forearm, reaching into the stove or reaching over a barbecue.
Sure. Well, all of this is really great information. Barry, thank you so much for being here with me today.
You're quite welcome. Thank you for having me.
And if you're a resident of the City of Mesa and you would like to schedule a free home safety inspection, please call us at 480-644-2508. Coming up, we'll talk about a new state-of-the-art machine that our firefighters are using during EMS calls. Stay tuned.